I'd like to thank Chairwoman Brooks for holding this hearing and giving the subcommittee the opportunity to learn more about the FY2015 budget requests for the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Earlier this month, Secretary Johnson testified before the full committee on the FY2015 budget submission for the Department of Homeland Security. Members of this panel raised a litany of concerns ranging from how future budget caps will affect operations to whether resources are being allocated effectively to enhance security. There was one topic, however, that generated significant bipartisan interest: FEMA's proposal to consolidate 18 distinct Homeland Security grants into one. This is not FEMA's first attempt at a wide-scale consolidation of these programs. It is the third attempt. In the past, when members asked about the potential changes in how funding would be awarded under the consolidation proposal, FEMA stressed that it was not focused on the specifics of which cities receive funding. Instead, it was concerned about building national capabilities. So before we go down that road for the third time, I want to be clear about where members on this panel, at least the Democratic side, are coming from. The attacks of September 11, 2001 shook America to its core. Prior to 9/11, we only saw disasters in terms of natural disasters: hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, etc. Mother Nature can be vicious, but over the years, thanks to investments in disaster preparedness and recovery, it is an enemy we can anticipate. The attacks of September 11th, in contrast, we did not see coming. And unlike a natural disaster, we did not know, at least initially, when it would be over. Despite our military strength, our intelligence, resources, and the first responder technologies, Americans learned that day that we are vulnerable to terrorism. Unfortunately, last year, the Boston Marathon bombings brought the unpredictable nature of terrorism into focus once again. Americans have come to understand that the might of our military will not stop terrorists from trying to attack our streets. Fragments of intelligence only tell a full story if the information is shared with the right people. I represent Newark, New Jersey. I have seen firsthand the death and destruction caused by terrorist attacks and natural disasters. Both the 9/11 attacks and Hurricane Sandy were deadly, heartbreaking, and caused significant economic damage. The nature of terrorism demands a very different preparedness, response, and mitigation approach than approaching a storm or other natural disaster. New Jersey's first responders were some of the first to attend to the aftermath of 9/11, and they again were called to respond following Hurricane Sandy. Depending on the type of disaster, what is asked of our first responders is vastly different. Asking any firefighter, what is the demand of him in response to a traditional fire, is vastly different from what is required to respond to a blaze caused by an act of terrorism where biological toxins may have been released or booby traps may have been laid. In recognition of the difference and the need to build core terrorism preparedness and response capabilities, Congress established the Homeland Security Grant Program. So as we begin our discussion on grant consolidation today, you will find that the concerns expressed about your proposal are fundamental. What is at stake goes far beyond parochial considerations about who gets the money. It is about how we take the lessons learned from 9/11 to make our communities more secure. In the absence of a dedicated and discrete terrorism preparedness and response grant programs, which is exactly what would occur under your consolidation proposal, how can we be assured that the funds we appropriate will be used to achieve interoperability, harden and protect critical infrastructure, and address the other vulnerabilities that were first identified by the 9/11 Commission? I want to thank Administrator Fugate for being here today, and I look forward to his testimony, and I yield back the balance of my time.